So Donald Trump wants Greenland. Why? Let's talk about it. See, Greenland is the world's largest island. It is 6 times the size of Germany, and with just a population of around 56,000. This island has been under Danish control for 300 years, but Donald Trump says he wants it and is going to get it one way or another. Donald Trump is not the first US president that has tried to acquire Greenland. The United States have been trying to get Greenland since the 1860s. In fact, in 1946, the US president at the time offered to acquire Greenland for $100 million in gold, and they said no. In 2019, Trump tried, and they told him
It's not for sale.
in 1951, an agreement was made, and the US has had military presence in Greenland ever since. Note that Greenland has its own prime minister, it controls its own policies. Denmark is in charge of foreign affairs and defense. So why does the United States really want Greenland? Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask Trump, he will tell you it's for security purposes. And in order for me to explain this, I will need to show you a map. This is the map of the world. This is the United States. This is North America. Well, this is Greenland. Now look, this is North Atlantic Ocean. Now look all the way over Russia. Now, if Russia ever decides to attack, you know what? Showing you on a flat map might be a bit confusing because Russia looks so far up in the United States on a flat map, but the world is not really flat. How about I show you on a globe? This is the United States right here. This is Greenland in Denmark right here. And this is Russia all across the North Atlantic Ocean. This is Russia, right? Russia is not that far from the United States. And looking at it from the globe, you can see that Russia, this is the United States down there. But see, Russia is not that far from the United States. This spot right here is Alaska, which the US bought from Russia, but that's another discussion for another day. Now, this is Greenland, and Greenland is kind of in the middle, right? So if Russia ever decides to attack the United States, Greenland is a strategic position for early missile detection and for control of the ocean that surrounds the United States. So that's the reasoning of President Trump. But if you ask critics, they will tell you Greenland has rare earth reserves and has potential oil and gas resources. But who can stop Trump? Well, I don't know. The answer to this question should be straightforward because we have the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. NATO comprises of 32 countries, and these countries came together after World War II. They have a mantra, which is an attack on one is an attack on all. So if you attack one country that is a member state of NATO, all 32 countries will bring their military together and their funding and all that they have together to attack you. So this has protected Europe. Now, US and Denmark, they are both members of NATO. So NATO should be able to tell US, stop doing that. But this is where it gets tricky. You see, US is NATO's largest military power. US also provides much of NATO's logistics, funding, and intelligence. So if US decides to pull out of NATO today, NATO will be a shadow of itself. Now, if Trump decides to use military force to take Greenland, NATO can't stop him, Denmark can't stop him. I ask, in a world where the major global organizations depend on the United States for the bulk of its funding, logistics, and intelligence, who can stop Trump and the United States?